Well, I saw a little tweet today from Trump, which isn't related to this video, but I'm just going to mention it now. You know, Trump basically tired of trying to get, done with China, trying to work on North Korea. It's time to get serious, or, time for action. We're going to have to take action or something. And I'm thinking, oh, here we go, man. I don't want to see no aircraft carriers getting hit by missiles over by North Korea like the prophet dude, whatever his name, Dr. Aurora said that I kept talking about earlier this year. We don't want to see that. But speaking of something else that all the club members in his cabinet and everywhere else don't want him to do, he's going to do. This is also something that Gerald Celente has been talking about for a long time. What does he say? Currency wars, trade wars, real wars, or something, right? It's a zero hedge. Trump overrules his cabinet, prepares to unleash global trade war. While one of Trump's recurring campaign promises was that he would punish China and other key U.S. trade counterparties, if elected, for taking advantage of free trade by imposing steep tariffs and duties on foreign imports to level the playing field, the president's stance changed drastically after the election, U-turning following his amicable meeting with China's President Xi Jinping back in March, but mostly as a result of pressure by his ex-Goldman advisors to keep existing trade arrangements in place and not to rock the boat. Now, all that may be about to fall apart. According to Axios, behind the constant media scandals, one of the most consequential and contentious internal debates of his presidency unfolding during a tense meeting Monday in the Roosevelt Room of the White House, where with more than 20 top officials present, including Trump and Vice President Pence, the president and a small band of America First advisors made it clear they're hell-bent on imposing tariffs, potentially in the 20% range on steel and likely other imports. In other words, Trump, true to his campaign promises, is set to launch a global trade war, after all, one where the main country impacted would be China. However, the collateral damage would extend to Canada, Mexico, Japan, Germany, and the UK. So, tired of China working with trying to get North Korea to settle down. We're done with that. We're ready to take action. Second thing, speaking of China, hate to hit you with the double whammy, China, but we're about to impose 20% import tariffs on you. So, sorry about that too. And what may be even more striking is that Trump overruled his cabinet, as the sentiment in the room was 22 against 3 in favor. But since one of the 3 is named Donald Trump, it was a case closed. Axios adds that while no decision has been made, the president is leaning towards imposing tariffs despite opposition from nearly all of his cabinet. Needless to say, if Trump follows through, the outcome would have a profound effect on U.S. economic and foreign policy. Trump will formalize his decision in the coming days. What is also notable is that this is the first time, so far off the record, in which Trump has openly defied, and this is the key part, openly defied his Wall Street establishment advisors while siding with Mr. Bannon, the populist. Do you remember I told you this a long time ago, as in a few months ago when he became president in January? And I gave you an example where I said, he sent the Treasury Secretary over to China or the G20. They had a meeting, whatever the hell it was. And remember, he left with the protectionist view. The rest of them didn't like that. America First view, basically. But, sorry, we're not agreeing to anything. Climate Summit, we're not agreeing to anything there. Came back, ripped that crap up. And I said, watch him tell his advisors, no, this is what I want you to do. I know you're talking about, but I'm the president. I want you to do this. Right? I talked about this. So we have to see a few more examples. This is a big one example. So, yes, he picked the guys that we all, including myself, did videos on. Hey, I don't like that guy. Oh, another Goldman guy, Goldman Sachs. Oh, come on, this is not looking good. You're supposed to be draining the swamp, right? But I said then, what if he's putting all these people around him, to pacify the globalist elite? But he's saying, I'm going to tell you what, I know you want your advice, but I want you to do it my way. This is for the people. I want you to do this for me. That's what I'm telling you to do. And they're going to go do it. I said this, and I'm glad to see it really coming out. This is great news. You put the vampire squid around you, Goldman boys, and then make them make the decision that kills them inside. It's great. It's fantastic. Needless to say, if Trump follows through, the outcome would have a profound effect on the U.S. economic and foreign policy. Trump will formalize his decision in the coming days. What is also notable is that this is the first time, so far off the record, in which Trump has openly defied his Wall Street establishment advisors while siding with Mr. Stephen Bannon. Remember him? The populist dude. In a plan pushed by Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross and backed by Chief Strategist Steve Bannon, not present at the meeting, Trade Policy Director Peter Navarro and Senior Policy Advisor Stephen Miller, the United States would impose tariffs on China and other big exporters of steel. Neither Mike Pence, his vice president, remember, nor Jared Kushner weighed in either way. Okay, well, that's good. Everyone else in the room, more than 75% of those present, were adamantly opposed, arguing it was bad economics and bad global politics. At one point, Trump was told his almost entire cabinet thought this was a bad idea, but everyone left the room believing the country is headed toward a major trade confrontation. We already knew this in advance, didn't we? Webbot's already talked about this stuff. So again, Lindsey Williams, markets melting up. Stock market in America going to melt up. 50,000 Dow, here we come. Should I get the magic 8-ball? Yeah? Think so? All right. He didn't want to cooperate the other day. Twice I asked him in a row, and he kept saying, ask me later. Mr. Magic 8-ball? Is this trade thing going to end well for the United States? As I see it, yes. Great. Fantastic. Nothing to worry about. We're good. It'll go real well with China, you know. So as Axios adds, the reason why Trump defied the guidance of his Wall Street-derived advisors is Trump's base, which drives more and more decisions as his popularity sinks, likes the idea, and will love the fight. This, more than anything, should send shivers down Wall Street's spine, because for all his bluster and outrageous media outbursts, Trump had largely been in Wall Street's pocket so far. Not anymore. And with Trump's base hell-bent on punishing the 1%, which includes Wall Street, if Trump decides or indeed launches global trade war, his future decisions will become increasingly market unfriendly. So let's think. You're China. You already know the COMEX, it ain't got the gold and silver it claims. It's nothing but a bunch of paper IOUs, receipts, right? And we like to get our hands on as much precious metals as we can, but we're playing nice. We're not getting deliveries from the COMEX because we know we'd clean it out, you know, with the change in our back pocket over here in China. So we're going out on the global field and mining companies directly. We'll take the gold and yeah. But if you're going to put a 20% tariff on the goods we're bringing to you that we need, and look, America, we got empty malls, literally completely empty, brand new built, fully functioning, but no one's in them because no one lives around there. They needed to keep construction going, so let's just build anyways. High-rise apartments, buildings, everything. Completely empty, fully functioning, look beautiful, like they just put them up today, but they've been there for a few years, and it's a complete ghost towns. Just go to YouTube, China ghost towns, something like that, search for it. You're not going to believe, if you've never seen them, you won't believe what you're going to see. China or Chinese ghost towns. You're not going to believe it. So China, we don't care. We'll just keep building anyways. But we love, you know, I want you to think of this, and you already know the answer though. You go into a store, any flipping store in America, flip something over. This Magic 8-ball, for example. I wonder, Mattel, made, you're probably not going to, yeah, there's no way you'll see that. Oh, maybe. Made It's a little bit blurry. Made in China. Patent, whatever. Mattel. Made in China. You don't say. I got anything else on my desk I can kind of look at, maybe? A little USB stick, anything? What do you got? Patent, made, no, doesn't say. Anyways. Everything's made in China. Everything you go to Walmart, you flip over everything in China. If China says you hurt us so bad, we're not sending you anything else. We're done. We're going to work with the rest of the countries, and while we're at it, we're going to start making delivery orders on your Comex market. We're going to take delivery of the metal we know you don't have because you pissed us off. Boy, oh boy, would there be some interesting fireworks. And all I think of, trade wars in China, 20%. You don't want to do that to China. You don't. All I can think of is John Teeter. He made mention of China and told us we'd find out. He said, you're going to find it. He said, I have a question for you guys. Since you've asked me all these questions, I got a question for you guys. Who manufactures bike tires? Where do they come from? And he says, and then he never got an answer. And he goes, oh, well, he mentioned something about China and goes, well, you're going to find out in 2008. We're in 2017, right? But I always thought to myself, what if he just added like a decade? Because again, he doesn't want the powers that be to know he knew way back when. He knew where this was going, if this guy's true. Time travel stuff. And he just added a span of time. So in other words, 2018 is really 2008. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but it's funny because he talked about how, yeah, there's a problem with China. And what he's implying is you don't get your bike tires anymore, tubes or tires. It'd be a little problem. But he said, but don't worry, the little fruit gelatin stacks, they're safe. Hinting on something with China. So this is, again, it's very interesting. Not looking good, but still interesting nonetheless. And can't wait to see what happens next, right? We'll see. Take care.